Greetings, Pokemon fans. I'm Josh J. Woods Wittenkiller, and I'm here with our three-time world champion, Jason Klaczynski. Jason, you've been here before, but I'm sure you know. How does it feel to get a win on the first game?
Oh, it's always nice. You know, the first thing I saw was he flipped over an Aegislash, which is, I was like, uh-oh, because I only play 4 double colorless energy in my deck. So, fortunately, I was able to hit my lasers at the right time and deal with the Aegislash, though.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We're like, with that shield, it seems on paper like a perfect Toad counter, but it turns out there's a whole lot you can do. You can discard their energy and disrupt them.
Well, to make things even tougher, he also runs Steel Shelter because he knows the one thing a Seismitoad deck can do to get through that shield is to play Hypnotoxic Laser. So he plays Steel Shelter in his deck. However, the way Seismitoad functions is so much smoother than his deck because he's always under Quaking Punch. I, on the other hand, am not, and I'm able to Ultra Ball, dig through my deck, and find those Verbanks to counter Steel Shelter.
Yeah, we saw a couple of opportunities where he maybe could have promoted his own Seismitoad and done a Quaking Punch.
I saw that earlier in the game. He opted not to Quaking Punch, and I wasn't sure if he was just thought that Dragalge was in play and he couldn't retreat, or if he was, I thought he might have only had one energy, and he was afraid if I Flare Grunted him that it was just going to be stuck, so he wanted to make sure maybe he had another double colorless in hand so he didn't get stuck with a Seismitoad passing. Wasn't sure, but yeah, I was definitely wondering what was going on that turn, what was in his hand.
Yeah, definitely frees up a lot for you. So the Roaring Skies set is out. Obviously, Toad has changed quite a bit. You've been playing it throughout the season. What are some of the biggest things you'd say the deck gains with Shaman? Obviously, Shaman's like the biggest
Shaman,
thing.
Shaman. It's not just the deck. It's the whole game is different
There's no
with Shaman.
running for Shaman.
Yeah. It's a card that's going to completely change the game. It's going to take over the game. You play first now, and you're able to go through pretty much your whole deck if you want to.
Yeah. We had a couple turns where it was like, oh, and
I had to verify with the judges sometimes. I was like, did I play a supporter? Because I drew so many cards. I swear, I'm like,
now he plays the Sycamore?
I must have played a Sycamore, right? I've drawn 15 cards, but no, with Ultra Ball and Computer Search and all these items that you could burn through, you're drawing 4, 5, 6 cards with Shaman, and it just feels like you played a supporter. And you'll have turns where it's like, geez, I don't even need the Sycamore because Shaman got me everything I needed. So,
it's
great
crazy.
card.
So we were sort of checking through. You said you were cool talking about stuff from your list.
Sure, why not?
The big thing I see you wrote 1, crossed out, 2 AZ.
So you can see my thought process on
paper.
Oh
no, it's great.
Yeah.
There's a story on these sheets.
There is. So with Seismitoad decks in the past, I'd always run some basic energy. We always have 4 double colorless, of course, because that's so important to Quaking Punch as soon as possible. But I either had 3 water, or sometimes if I played Victini EX, I would have 3 fire instead of the water. And, that allowed you not to, attach 2 energy to Quaking Punch, but also to retreat. Now, with Shaman out, it's so easy to find these double colorless energy. I don't need more energy to Quaking Punch. I can get the double colorless energy on the first turn almost every time, with Shaman setup, Sycamore, or Computer Search. So I cut my energy down to 4 double colorless. However, the problem with that now is somebody can simply play a Lysander on my 1 retreat Shaman, and if I don't have the double colorless, that Shaman's going to be stuck. And if you play Seismitoad decks, the worst thing that can happen is somebody break your Quaking Punch lock.
Oh, so it's you would say you use it more to just pick up the Shaman,
heal? It lets me, it's got all the tricks in the book. You can remove a head ringer with it. You can get out of a sleep or poison or paralysis with it. And, 2 AZ in the past, maybe, you wouldn't want more than 1, but now it can work as a draw card, too. Say I don't have a Sycamore. If I have a Shaman on the bench, worst case scenario, I can AZ and draw some more cards with it.
I think we saw that, one time in the second game.
Yeah, but the reason for 2 is just because I didn't want somebody to be able to simply play a Lysander, bring up another Pokemon, like even a Dragalge or a Shaman, and not have an energy to retreat it. So having 2 AZ allows me, better access to that.
Yeah, it works, and you have 2 AZ, 4 Super Scoop Up. There's a lot of picking up cards in this deck.
Yeah, well, when Super Scoop Up goes wrong, I have the AZ as backup, but it worked out pretty well that game. My Fennekin coin came through.
Seems like it, yeah. I mean, as a Toad player, the best you can hope for is to run through what, on paper, could seem like a pretty bad matchup, and so sky's the limit from here. All right, guys. Thanks so much, Jason, for telling us a bit about your deck. Best of luck.
Thank you.
I would not be surprised if we hear from you again.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh.
You have a good one.